Hey, everybody, my name is Rick Silva. I'm a referral coach. I help salespeople, entrepreneurs, just like Derek, build a referral-based practice. So number one, they don't have to cold call. They don't have to door knock. If they are spending money on ads, we work on the wording to help those ads pull in more business. Want to teach you how to build a referral-based practice so you're not door knocking and cold calling. It's one of those things when you ask somebody what you think you need help with, you may not know what you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Give me an idea give me like in 2 to 6 sentences, not 20 minutes, of what you do. And then I want to go from what you do to what you're currently doing, what Derek does, what you sell, what you offer, and then what is Derek doing to find clients? Go ahead.
We sell the product, which is a deferred capital trust, which is a little known entity that helps business owners, property owners, people that are not W-2 income generally, to help defer their taxes and give them asset protection. And both of those things combined basically secure the customer for protecting their business from the two things that are the most detrimental to the business, which is lawsuits and liabilities in that business and the taxes that they pay.
And just a point of people see this on my YouTube channel, parts of this. I do have one of these trusts also, so I'm a big fan. Tell me what Derek himself is doing to generate business. Are you pretty much managing what the owner of the company is bringing in? Are you doing biz dev? And if so, what kind of business development are you doing?
Yeah, I'm generally,
Networking, marketing, whatever.
yeah, doing the networking through the events that Scott pays for when we go across the country. Of course, I have my own networking people that join groups myself. I didn't do that until the last 3 or 4 months. Once I've had about a year under my belt, although I've been selling these trusts for almost, over a year now. I bring in people now through my own events, any way that I can. My job is to find the people wherever they are that, again, as I stated earlier, where they're business owners, self-employed, multi-level property owners, to get them to look at this trust as we can secure them and help them avoid paying taxes.
To help me help you with what I'm going to help you with, I'm going to have you answer some questions.
All right.
And then when I get to the outline of what a referral network is, you're going to have part of it done.
Okay.
So I want you to think about, we're going to talk to you real quick about, let's do this. I'm going to show you a slide and then we're going to fill some stuff in. Derek, we're not doing, this is 30 hours of training. We're not doing 30 hours today.
I didn't think we were. I wasn't sure, but
yeah, I'm going to give you an outline of what it is to build a referral network, because that's what I'm a referral guy. I'm not a marketing guy. I teach referral networking. I teach people how to build a referral-based practice. I'm going to go over, you're actually going to answer number one. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and I'm going to get number one out of you. Number one is the Epiphany story. So I'm showing this list now and then I'm going to go back to full screen and we're going to go over number one, which is Epiphany story, number two, which is Avatar. And I'll explain what all this is and the importance of it. But I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go back to full screen. So number one is the Epiphany story. Anybody watching this at home, Derek hasn't always done this. Derek's, I know he only looks 22 years old, but he did have a 20 or 30-year career before this. So Derek, what I want you to tell me is, it doesn't have to be a super long story, but what you did before, and then there was something in your life that changed. You were doing what you did, and I think you pretty much either retired or semi-retired, but something was the aha, which is an epiphany of why Derek went from what he was doing before, and I want you to tell everybody what you did before, what got you into what you're doing now. That's called the epiphany story, the aha. I was doing this, and I saw this and went, aha. So tell everybody what you used to do, and then how you got into what you're doing now.
I was in the automobile business for 30 years, in trucking and automobiles. I was in the finance side. And we always jokingly said, the guy behind the desk, the last person you saw when you bought a car. And I was the guy with the ball and chain around my ankle because I never left my office. But that was Monday through Friday. When I started in the business, it was 6 days a week. It got a little bit better as we got older, but it's still, you never knew when you're going to go home. I missed out a lot of family things doing it. And it was very lucrative. We did very well. In fact, I had an old boss owner of one of the companies said it's a hard way to make easy money, being in the car business. And so anyway, the epiphany came in whenever I left my last job. I was there for a decade. I found out really quickly as an employee, you're not always treated very well and you can be let go on a dime. And that's what happened. Change of management, things like that. 10 years of loyal service, never called in sick ever. In fact, in 30 years, I never did that. But in that particular job, still didn't do that. Went over to the trucking side, and I did that for about 2 years and just found out it just was not a good fit for me. Took a month off. So the epiphany is, my gosh, ran across a guy that I'm friends with. He'd been doing these trusts for about 4 years. He loved the freedom. He was going to give me the freedom to work during the week. I could work from home. I could work from the office, have weekends off. My kids are older now, so I could choose to travel with him to these events across the country. And the epiphany was, my gosh, when he told me back about this in 2019, I should have listened to him then about these trusts, because my wife ended up really doing very well selling homes in 2020 with COVID. And I wish I would have not told, hey, I don't need that. I'm a W-2. I should have listened and done the trust years before. And I have found out since then that every person I deal with always says, gosh, why didn't someone tell me this a day? So the epiphany is just that there's a new way of working, helping people, and doing it more on my terms.
Just to dig a little deeper on, my wife started doing well during COVID and I should have had it then. What was the shoulda, woulda, coulda on that? What would have been the benefit if you would have had it 4 years earlier?
Oh, yeah. She would have gotten paid into the trust and would have deferred about 90% of the taxes that we paid. And so when she sold quite a bit during that next year and a half, it would have been for us. Remember I said earlier, some people pay 500,000 a year in taxes, some pay 30. Take off about 90% on her end of the income.
Yeah.
And it was substantial.
Make a mental note of this, Derek. That's called the regret file.
Okay.
I have, and you want to start picking up stories of regret file. You want to have a regret file story.
Okay.
What's going to sell more of your trust is you tell your personal story. And had I known about this 4 years earlier, my wife and I would have paid tens or hundreds of thousands. For me, in 2 years, it was like 400,000 less in taxes.
Oh, wow.
More than that, probably maybe close to $500,000 less in taxes I would have paid had I heard about it. Why didn't I hear about it? Because going into this, Derek, you're not selling Pop-Tarts. You're selling a high-ticket item, 15, 30, 45 grand, depending on ours was close to 30 or 40,000 to do everything we needed. And people go, holy S-balls, that's expensive. And then I tell my story, Derek, and that I've saved close to $500,000 in 2 years on taxes. And then you look at them and you go, is 30,000 a lot? If I save 400,000 in taxes, I go, no, that's nothing. So it's all, so you compiling stories of your personal story and then telling stories of other people without using names. You can say, hey, I had a business owner client. He saved XYZ amount of money. That when I up front, when he found out it was 30 grand, he said, ouch. But then when we laid it out and he saved 350,000 in taxes, 30 grand's nothing. 30 grand one time, 300,000 a year. Not one time. I'm saving I'm saving close to 300,000 a year, more than that, 300,000 or 400,000 a year in taxes. So I'm going back to that slide I showed you. Number one is Epiphany.
Yeah.
So I just sucked your Epiphany story out of you. So you did car and truck financing. You were glued to that seat. Now I've been there, Derek. I've showed up at a deal at 4 o'clock, and by the time the paperwork's done, it's 9 o'clock at night.
You got it.
And you're the last guy out of there gritting your teeth. I got it. Miss birthdays, miss Christmas, whatever you missed, build it detailed. The more drama you build into that story, Derek, when you start meeting with your clients, they start leaning on the edge of the chair going, oh my God, I've bought cars. I didn't know they went. They start falling in love with you, Derek, because if you're meeting with your friends, families, neighbors, clients, and you're jumping right into this product, and if they don't know who you are, they don't know you that well, they haven't fallen in love with you yet, Derek, and you drop the price tag on them, you haven't built enough like love equity with them to let them know it's some piece of paper that costs 30 grand or 15 grand or whatever it costs.
Okay.
But if when you're meeting them, you go and you say, we have this XYZ type of trust. Now, let me tell you my story about it. I worked at a car dealership. I miss my kids, blah, blah, blah. I miss high school grad, whatever it is for you, Derek. And then now the wife you have now is not your first wife. It's your new wife.
Correct.
I got married XYZ years ago. She does real estate. She started doing really well during COVID. Man, the taxes were going through the roof. And my friend Scott told me about this in 2019. I didn't listen because I was in my own world just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm telling Derek's story. You're shaking your head up and down. You start telling your clients this story. My wife did real estate, started doing the taxes. Oh my God. We were paying so much in taxes. Now, Derek, the people who can afford what you sell, the reason you're meeting them is because, again, this is not a low ticket item. These people are making some money.
Right.
Now, I'm significantly over 700,000 a year. People who make 80 grand a year, probably this isn't really gonna, we got to be making some money. So when you start talking to people that are in the right net worth, the right income bracket, oh my God, I was sitting there looking at my taxes and I remember my Scott, you're going to start resonating with these business owners who a lot of your clients probably make more than you do, Derek.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be going, oh my God, taxes. So they're already starting to resonate with you. And tell me about how I'm going to save in taxes. But instead of just jumping into the estate story, tell Derek's story first, Epiphany story. Why did Derek, and you'll get all this in recording, Derek, but why did you get into it? Freedom, working 80 hours a week. Now, if you're meeting business owners and doctors and dentists who can afford this, they're all working their asses off too, and they're trying to figure out how I can work less.
Yeah.
One of the ways that I paint the picture to a dentist, my sisters worked for dentists for years. If they make 600 grand a year and they're paying 300 in taxes, they got to work X amount of years to retire. If that same 600,000, now they're paying 50 grand in taxes, they can shorten the time before they retire by maybe 10 years.
Okay.
So you build that into your personal story. They resonate with it. And then you're not selling, Derek. They're pulling out the checkbook.
Love it.
Selling to them is sitting here. Here's how much it costs. Here's what it does. People don't want to hear that crap. They want to, I hate to say this term, but they want to know and trust you first. So Derek wants to have his story of ups, downs, trials, tribulations. You were in the car business. You made a ton of money, but you didn't have a lot of freedom. And then you went into trucking. So you were making good money, didn't have any freedom, and didn't like the business. Now we got two negatives and one positive, because that making the money isn't worth the time, and I don't like the business. So I got to find something else. My wife started doing good, started paying a crap ton in taxes. And my friend Scott kept telling me about this thing he was doing. I didn't listen. When I finally sat down, I look back, I'll go, man, I would have paid 300 or 400 or 500,000 less in taxes. That was the point where I thought, I got to get this, and then I got to start telling other people about it. Now, Derek, when you watch this video back, and I was telling you your story, you're doing this.
Yep.
Now, that leads into something, Derek, that's called the reticular activating system. It's in the brainstem. And I know I'm resonating with you when you're doing this. And you've done it a lot, because I got to talk with you for 10 hours already. I know a bit of your story. I already have your product. Plus, I'm a pro networker. This is what I do. I teach people how to do this stuff. Derek, if you've ever thought of, I think I did this for you when we talked about the quotes on the card, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But you thought about, I'm thinking about getting a gray BMW. You walk out the front door, 75 gray BMWs. Every magazine you pick up, there's a gray BMW. You go to the grocery store, there's 87 gray BMWs lined up. And you see them everywhere. Derek, they were always there. But when you started thinking about buying one, the reason why you started seeing them everywhere is because you programmed your own reticular activating system, which is a vibrational system in the brainstem. Let me tell you real quick how the reticular activating system works in the brainstem. So you and I are old enough to remember, I'm just trying to see what I could use here. I'll use my phone. Old transistor radios with the antenna. So when you take your radio, and all you kids out there, yes, radios used to have antennas. And yeah, you probably got one. Is he grabbing one? There you go. Perfect. Hold that up. So Derek,
let's see when they come in here.
You have the antenna.
Mm-hmm.
You want to listen to country music. You turn the knob to whatever station, and country music starts coming out of the speakers, right? Now, Derek, agree or disagree that when you hold the radio in your hand, you're holding country music in your hand right now. Okay. And if you're not holding radio, I'm holding country music in my hand. It's all around me. That radio with the antenna tuned to a certain frequency, the country music is in this room right now, vibrating.
Yes.
You use the antenna to vibrate at the same frequency. It flies into the antenna, it comes out the speakers. If I want rock and roll music, I just change the tone.
Correct.
So I'm going to teach you how to make millions of dollars with with that radio right there.
Okay.
This is how. The way it works is Derek's thinking about a gray BMW. Everywhere he goes, he sees a gray BMW. So the reticular activating system in the brainstem is the antenna and the radio. So if I want to program you to find people who need an estate plan, those people are going to start complaining in a certain way. I'm paying too much in taxes. My business is growing. I need protection. Hey, XYZ friend got in a car accident and he got sued. He wasn't protected properly. I want to leave a legacy for my kids. I need to grow my wealth. If people are saying things like this, would you not like them to think about a spendthrift trust?
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing with those word for word quotes is we're programming the reticular activating system of referral partners and potential clients. I'm going to go much deeper. We're doing like two snowflakes on top of the iceberg, where 70% of the iceberg's underneath. We're not even scratching the surface. So number one, Derek has to have his Epiphany script. Number two, that's your personal story, where they're resonating with you. Now, Derek, if when you're telling your personal story, when you're done, they're not saying, oh my God, I need one of those, and your story's not compelling enough.
Okay.
When I sit and tell you my life, and I'll show it to you at the end, my life in slides. When I'm meeting a potential client who's referred to me by a referral partner, when I start telling my story about loss, regret file, how much money I lost in the stock market, lost in housing, they're like, how much is land? 50 grand? Here's my checkbook. Where do I buy? If the story's compelling enough, we're never selling the product. We're selling our story and our regrets of how much money we paid in taxes that we didn't have to pay. So a lot of times when we do these trade shows, these networking events, Chamber of Commerce events, we're spending too much time jumping into the product and not enough time telling our personal story.
Okay.
So when I'm at those trade shows and I was telling you stories about growth and I got divorced and I slept on a futon, I was homeless, all that, I spend more time with those people you saw at my table talking about how I lost a lot of money in the stock market, how I lost money in the house I lived in when I got divorced. It went down in value. So it's 90% my story. It's 10% about land.
Okay.
It's 90% Derek's personal story of regret and what fixed the regret and what fixed your wife kicking ass and you having to pay all this taxes. What fixed that was the trust. But I don't care about the trust and what it did if I don't know Derek's story.
Gotcha.
And this, Derek, and thank God you didn't work on the sales floor of the automobile industry, because I'd really have to program your mind. Because car salesmen are taught to bang out that car and talk about all the features and benefits. I back up and say, if I'm going to talk about a specific kind of car, like I have 2 Subarus, I could sell Subarus all day long. But I tell a personal story about how I hunt and fish and how I use the car and how I need the car. Most car salesmen go, what do you need? It's features. Like it's in the face, it's a pie in the face. Like I walk on a car lot and I'm afraid for the sales guy to come and get me, because like car salesmen, I want to learn about them. How long have you worked here? I want to get to know those guys, but they just want to sell a car. That's slimy sales guy stuff, which honestly, Derek, in your business, you'll make sales, but you're talking about meeting with business owners, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, business owners, financial planners, CPAs. And you're like, again, you're not selling a $5. We're not putting a nickel in a gumball machine, kicking out gumballs. This is a high ticket item, very sophisticated item that almost no one's heard of. Everyone's heard of trust. This ain't a trust. This is a spendthrift trust. This is on a whole nother level. So before somebody's writing a check for 30 G's, they got to get to know Derek. So Derek has to have, number one, personal story.
Got it.
Okay, I'm going to get off of that or we'll never get done.
But
no problem.
Going back to what you said, not to get off back on that tangent, but in the car business where I came from, you make a friend, you sell a car.
That's it.
So it does help to sell your story because people want to buy things from people they like.
Correct.
They really do.
Yep.
So thanks for reminding me that. I forgot about that.
Yep. Number 2 is avatar. Now, the avatar in the networking world, Derek, you need to be okay. If I go, who uses your product, and your response is anyone, if it has the word anyone or anybody, colossal error. So I'm gonna give you some ideas of, okay, so let's explain what an avatar is. Derek, if I could take a piece of clay and I could mold, and we'll do this, the female figure, but whatever figure, if I could mold the perfect client for you, it can't be anyone or anybody, because we have to go back to the antenna in that radio. And if you're taking the tuning knob and you're doing this, will you ever hear music coming out? So when you're talking to someone, you go, any business owner is a good client for me. I want you to understand the radio, blah, 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 blah. That's what you're not firing the reticular activating system because it's too vague.
Okay.
If you want country music, you're tuning into 98.5. You're not turning into 99.2 because that's static. That gets you nothing. 98.5 gets you laser specific and gets you country music. And though I don't like country music, I know you're in Texas, so I'm saying country music. But whatever you want, rock and roll, you turn into a rock and roll station. You don't do this and then think music's going to come out. Anybody, Derek, everybody can use a trust. No. That might be true because everyone needs to live in a home. But when you're trying to get referrals, you can't go, anybody's a good referral because the reticular act, then I can't get you going, oh, I got the guy. So your avatar has to be specific. Now, can you have more than one kind of client? You could have 30. Like your wife in real estate, first-time home buyer, empty nester, somebody died, they inherited a home, getting married, buying a home, fourth kid on the way, need a bigger home. Your wife could have 5, 6, 7, 8 different avatars. You need a different elevator pitch for every single avatar. Derek, I'm going to narrow this down for you a little bit because I typed some things out for you. I need a range, and it can be a large range, but it can't be, you can never use, if you ever use the word anyone or anybody or anything with me, that's the end of the conversation until I get you back on track.
Gotcha.
And the way I'll get you back on track is if you're vague, I'm going to say, does vague, hold up that radio, think of the antenna, does vague get the country music? Right. So vague is not going to fire the reticular activating system in the person you're talking to. So if you're vague, you're not going to get as many referrals as you could. So give me maybe even 3 windows. Like again, with real estate, if your wife does condos, I don't know anything about the price value out there, 300,000 to 500,000. Then single family homes, 500,000, 800,000. Then once in a while, she do a big home, 1.5 million to 3 million. Give me a couple buckets of what people earn, strictly earn, not net worth, what people earn in your industry.
I would say,
and if it's one bucket, it's fine. But I need a range.
200K plus.
200K plus. Perfect. Beautiful. That's perfect. They need to make at least 200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Hold on to that thought. Is there a general idea of what their net worth might be?
I'd say at minimum, million plus.
So if I met you at a networking event and I said, hey, who could use your product? Pretty much anyone. So if I introduced you to somebody whose net worth was 30 grand and made 40 grand a year, would that be good for you? But you said anybody when we met. Now I'm giving you a referral and you're saying the referral's not good. So if you're not getting enough referrals, if you're not getting the right kind of referrals, whose fault is that?
Be mine.
Networking doesn't work. Networking sucks. I go to networking events. I don't get anything out of it. It's not the networking event. It's you.
Gotcha.
So here's some more for you. Give me an idea of the types of holdings, Derek, the types of, they're protecting something. If all I had was $1,000 watch and $30,000 worth of rings, I need to own some real estate businesses. Give me an idea of the types of holdings that they could protect to this entity.
Number one, real estate properties that have an income coming in, a business that is their sole providership even, and someone that is in investments that they also have a W-2 job even.
Derek, this is because Derek gets to control his own life. Derek gets to do what he wants. And I'm going to tell you, in my land investing business, 75% of the people use old 401ks. For whatever reason, a higher than 50, maybe 65 to 70%, maybe even, I'm going to say 70% of our clients are female. Don't know why. Old 401k, female. Derek, you can't say anyone or anybody because you have in you a desire. I've met women that only want to work with men. In a perfect world, we're building this mold. We're not going to say this is the only thing you can ever do. You could have an elevator pitch specifically for men, specifically for women, that has nothing to do with sex or gender. But paint a little bit more of a picture with me of married, single, male, female, their circumstance about them personally, divorced, married, kids, not kids.
About a married couple that have assets over $1 million in properties or business that want to leave a generational wealth for their offspring or leave a legacy. In fact, there's called a legacy trust.
Now, there's a phrase that I use all the time, and I didn't do it, so I'm going to do it now. I'm typing a lot of notes here. It's called save early and save often. Okay.
Yeah.
Derek, and I apologize for this because it's not on the screen. Just to be clear, I got your name, Tidwell. The name of the company is Nexus.
Nexess. Double X, double S.
Now, is there any Nexus something, or is it just Nexus?
We now call it Nexus Business Advisors.
Okay. So, Derek, I'm now going to do part 1 and part 2 of your referral network, which is your personal epiphany story and using the information in the avatar. The avatar is what a good client looks like for you. I am going to create an elevator pitch.
Okay.
Now, those of you watching at home, I don't do what Derek does. I'm formulating this. You can see the smoke coming out of my ears. I'm formulating this. And I'm going to look at you, Derek. I'm not going to look at these notes. I'm going to do this from memory. I'm going to tell a very short version. I'm going to become you. I'm going to become more handsome and have more hair. And I'm going to be you, and I'm going to tell my personal story as you. And then I'm going to say what kind of a client would be the best type of client. And then ultimately, Derek, what you're going to do is when you meet with referral partners, i.e. financial planners, business coaches, rent a CFO, CP, life insurance agents, and you start building this reciprocal referral relationship with them, you're going to tell them your personal story. You're going to tell them what kind of clients you're looking for. And these referral partners, the financial planners, the CPA, the business coaches, you're going to program the Reticular activating system so they know what kind of clients to refer to you. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Let me get a sip of water as I vamp. So I'm working on this. Nexus Business Advisors, right? Hey, everyone. My name is Derek Tidwell with Nexus Business Advisors. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. For 30 years, I worked in a car dealership in finance. And there's a joke there. It's a hard way to make easy money. I was there 6 days a week. I was there on a lot of Saturdays and a lot of Sundays. I missed a lot of my kids' baseball games, and I just missed a lot of family events. I made a lot of money, but I worked a lot of hours. And after a while, I switched from automotive into working in the trucking industry, and then it just wasn't for me. I have a newer wife, and she started doing really well in real estate, and I was looking for something else, and boy, she started doing really well around COVID hit, and I watched my tax bills go up and up. Like, wow, we're making good money, but man, we're writing some big tax bills. Excuse me. I have a longtime friend named Scott. He's the owner of Nexus, and he was telling me about this product that he was offering to help people pay less in taxes. I heard about it. I knew about it for 4 years, and I just didn't do anything about it until I started seeing the big tax bills. So I sat down with Scott, and he told me about it, and I just went, the amount of money that I could have saved in taxes had I bought this 4 years ago is just, and see your head shaking up and down, Derek. The amount of money that we could have saved. So I sat down. I finally got it, and the experience was so great that I said, you know what? I'm going to start offering this to other people because there's other people out there paying way, way too much in taxes. They need to know about this. So I now have a new life's mission, and that is to show business owners, dentists, doctors, how to pay a lot less in taxes. So here's my elevator pitch for networking groups, Derek. Hey, everyone, my name is Derek Tidwell with Nexus Business Advisors. I'm a trust and blah, blah, blah. I don't have that sentence figured out yet, but I'm a trust consultant. I work with couples who are business owners. Maybe they're dentists, doctors. They make at least $200,000 a year, have a net worth of at least $1 million, that say things like, I don't know how I'm ever going to retire. Golly, my tax bill is through the freaking roof. I want to leave. I'm doing really well. My net worth's getting up there. I need some asset protection. I'm worried about being sued and just people coming after me for my money for no reason. I want to leave a legacy for my kids. Just my tax bill is going crazy. I heard about these entities I could use to help cut down on my tax bill. My name's Derek with Nexus Business Advisors. That's 1,000 times harder than it looks, Derek. Just 21 years you just saw. You have a personal story.
Yeah.
That goes into elevator pitch. So obviously you need to generate that, but the things in there that when I was watching you out of the corner of my eye, when you were really doing this, is when I went, man, I was looking back and God, I'm paying a lot in taxes. And you were like, because what I was doing is I was resonating with why you got it. So when I can figure out a client and I meet with him and he wants to leave a legacy for his kids, and I go, I always wanted to leave a legacy for my kids, and then you're doing this, we keep running down that road because I figured out the hot button.
Gotcha.
The shaking of the head, the firing of the reticular activating system is the hot button. If I say college dues and I don't see their head go, and I say I got a lot of property, I'm worried about blah, 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 and I get to that leave a legacy for my kids and they do this, man, I'm never getting off that topic.
Okay.
But we don't know. There's only two ways to find out, Derek. Start hitting them with word-for-word quotes until you see the head shake, because all I'm doing is I'm looking at you now and you haven't stopped shaking your head. But what I'm doing is I look at them and I'm going to talk. And as soon as I hit the head shake, right there. Now, there's two ways to do it. I'm going to do it by taxes, legacy, until I see the head shake. Or, Derek, if you meet with financial planners and the financial planner says, hey, Derek, I have a client named John and he needs your services, I'm going to send that financial planner a document that's going to say, what did he say that made you think he needed to trust? He said he's paying too much in taxes. He's got 2 little kids. He's worried about his future. Boom. So, Derek, you don't need to hit him with 18 different quotes to figure out what makes it do. The financial planner told you.
Told me. Yep.
So you're going to go in with that. So what Marcella does in land banking is we get a prospect profile filled out. Now, Derek, your kids are a little older, correct? How old are they?
2024, 27.
2024, 27. So, Derek, it's a little late for Marcella to show you slides about the pain of how much college costs. If I met you 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Marcella would be showing you slides about the cost of college. It might be an okay time for how much weddings cost, or if you want to leave a legacy to your kids and to your grandkids, how you can live longer in retirement with more money. So Marcella, meeting with you and your wife, isn't going to show you college paint point slides. It's going to show you legacy slides on how to have more in retirement. How much retirement costs. Because if Marcella showed you slides on how much college costs, my kids are 30. I don't care about college anymore.
Yeah.
So how we figured that out, of what we're going to talk to your client about, is we're going to say, I paid too much in taxes. I want to leave a legacy and wait for the head to shake. Or the referral partner is going to give you, the CPA, the business coach, the financial planner is going to tell you what they need. Okay, so do you see this list of 10 things, Derek? This is, again, to go from scratch to do everything, it's probably 20 to 30 hours. And I'm putting this now, and I didn't get on here to sell you a course, Derek, but if people are watching this and they want to know about it, I'm going to put an overlay in this part of the video. OneReferralAway.com has a 12-part, it's about 7 hours long, where I teach people how to network. It's $795. It comes with 2 hours of one-on-one coaching. Teaches about 75% of what's on the screen.
Yep.
And then I have one-on-one coaching that one-on-one coaching covers level 6 through 10. The course covers 1 through 5. The basis of how to networking events, trade shows, what to do, what to say, and then how to do referral partners that I do through one-on-one coaching. So OneReferralAway.com has the course and has the coaching. I wanted to throw that in there. So what you and I just did, Derek, is we did Epiphany story. I just told the world your personal story. Getting me to fall in love with you before I can tell them my elevator pitch. So what I had to do is get your story, and then your avatar, this right here, Derek, the avatar is 200,000 minimum in income per year, $1 million plus in net worth for them to be fully take advantage of the trust. They have jewelry, they have property with income, They have businesses, they have cars, they have investments, they have a high paying job. See, all of that bucket is the avatar. So, Derek, imagine the 200K a year, the business owner, the million net worth, the jewelry, the property, the business. Every one of those is a chisel. And we're striking that clay. And when we're done beating on it, then that person has all of those items. Now we've made that perfect mold. So we carved David out of that big piece of granite. David is the guy. He's a perfect. He makes enough. He has enough. He has the circumstances. He's dying for your product. He's just never heard of it before. So when you meet that guy and you tell him your personal story, they're pulling out a checkbook. Derek, I've been waiting my life. I've never heard of this. Where do I sign? 15, 20, 30 grand. You're going to save me 400,000 a year in taxes. I don't give a crap. Where do I send the check? We're not selling, Derek. We can only build that if we have the Epiphany story, which is your personal story about how you went from this to this and you're paying a ton of taxes. Oh my God, I paid so much. Oh, I found out about this saving in tax. The avatar is the features. The elevator pitch is when you take those features, you turn them into a story and you go, hey, everybody, my name's the elevator pitch. Hey, everybody, my name's Derek Tidwell, Nexus Business Advisors. I advise people on trust. That one story, that one sentence I don't have figured out yet. But I advise people on trust, help them save money on taxes. One of the benefits is using us is paying a lot less in taxes, assets protection, and you sleep better at night. A perfect client for me is a business owner or a high net worth individual who makes at least $200,000 a year, has at least $1 million net worth, who has jewelry, property, houses, businesses, real estate that creates wealth. They want to leave a legacy for their family. They want to retire sooner with more. And they say things like, God, I'm paying too much in taxes. I need to protect my assets. I've been thinking forever about getting a trust. I got grandkids on the way. I'm getting a little older. I'm thinking about leaving a legacy for my kids. That'd be a great client for me. There's your elevator pitch. So back to, that's the elevator pitch you use in a networking group.
Okay.
Now, I've been running networking groups for 21 years. Derek, can you sell these products anywhere in the country?
Yes.
So, Derek, I run 5 monthly business networking groups. I've been running networking groups. In 2 weeks. Will be 21 years in 2 weeks.
Oh.
I facilitated 1,700 networking groups. They're all virtual. Not today, but if you want to hear about them, because I have 5. Marcella's in all my groups. You can see Marcella. All 5 would be available for what you're doing with trust. So if you want to meet another time, I'd be more than happy to tell you about my groups. And I facilitate the groups. Okay. You get to see me every month. But that elevator pitch I created for you, if you wanted to join one of my groups, you'd watch a whole training video. You literally type it word for word and send it to me. Your personal story, hell, it's on record. You're going to see me do it twice. Your avatar is all the features about the guy. Because I'll have somebody go, like I've had a dentist go, good client is anyone. I go, so if I send you a guy with no teeth, is that a good client? No, that's not a good client. No, you said anyone's a good client. So when you get the wrong client, it's your fault. So this avatar, how much they make, net worth, all that stuff. Elevator pitch is you create what you're going to say to people, but you needed the features of the person first. Now, elevator pitch, Derek, you got to have one for a guy who has a lot of real estate. Derek, you got to have one. Hey, Derek, if a dentist made $600,000 a year, but owns no rental income, is he still a good client? He makes 600 grand a year. So you need to have an elevator pitch for doctors and dentists who make a crap ton of money. I personally know a lady who lives in Oakland, California. She makes 100 grand a year. She owns 6 houses. She's worth millions. She's got a ton of real estate, but her job, she doesn't pay her much. We got a crap ton of real estate. So if she has 6 houses where I live, that's $6 million. You'll take them on as a client. So we need to have an elevator pitch for property owners, business owners who own property owners who have a small business, high net worth job. You're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8 different elevator pitches. Derek Tidwell and Nexus Business Advisors, and I help people with trust. Those 3 things will never change. What does change is the part about their business owners. They make a lot of money. They have real estate. You just change the bottom part. The beginning part never changes. I want to talk to you real quick about the laws and power partners. Derek, I want to talk to you, not all of these, but the law of attraction, okay? You bring into your life what you attract, not unlike the radio that you held up with the antenna. If you want to attract country music, you have to tune that knob to the frequency of country music. The law of attraction, you bring into your life your thoughts, but you also bring into your life your words that you say to other people. Now, I'm going to give you the permission, Derek, by the way, to break the law on one thing. There's only one law that you and I both can break legally, and we won't get in any trouble. You ready? The law of gravity. Because if we break the law of gravity when we're in an airplane, we're going to be in trouble. So there's times when we have to break the law of gravity. So that's the only law we're allowed to break once in a while. The law of attraction, Derek, if all you did all day long, day and night, was drink beer and you drove, you're probably going to attract a DUI and maybe even killing someone. So if we want to attract more trust sales, then we need to do the things that are attracting the trust sales. And I can't go any deeper than that, but that's what we can't do. We can't be on this side going, anybody's a good client for me. When I've proven to you they have to make over 200K, $1 million net worth and have property. So saying anybody's a good client, it's not true. Real estate agents, they all go, I bet your wife's even said it, anybody's good because they all need homes. That's not true. Not anybody's a good client.
Oh, yeah.
So you cannot use the law of attraction if the wording's not right. The law of mutual exchange, the law of increasing returns, these are all laws that we have to follow. It's covered in the course. The law of reciprocity, brief. All the different religions out there in the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Bible, they don't agree on anything. They don't have the same God. Everything's different. But there's a couple things that all religions believe in. And one of them is love. They all believe in love. And the other one is the law of reciprocity. Give with no thought of return. And the full saying of that is give with no thought of return. And abundance comes from the most unexpected sources, the most unexpected time, and the most unexpected amount from the most unexpected place. And we don't know where, when, and how it's going to come. We just know if we help others with no thought of return, it's going to come back. So that doesn't mean I went to a trade show, I told 6 people about trust and no one bought. Because law of reciprocity says give with no thought of return. It doesn't say it's transactional. It is absolutely not transactional. So Derek, in your wife's lifetime as a real estate agent, do you think that she's walked into someone's home and she goes, I'd love to help you sell your home, but we need to bring in a painter and do some touch up, and we need to bring in a carpet cleaner and a house cleaner to get your house cleaned up before we can sell it? Now, when your wife brought in a carpet cleaner, did she make a dime from that? And the answer is no.
Nope.
Derek, when you're talking to someone about a trust, hey, Derek, I'll give you a personal story. My grandmother died 5 or 6 years ago. She's 101 years old. We inherited the home, and I got 80 grand. Now, if I'm sitting with you, Derek, and say, hey, I just inherited some money, the sales guy goes, good, let's get you a trust. Okay, if you're a sales guy, I can't help you become a networker. So here's the difference. Derek, I just inherited a bunch of money. Good, let's get you a trust. Then Derek is in sales mode. Right. I got to get you into networker mode to evoke half of these laws. The law of mutual exchange, the law of reciprocity, the law of attraction. This is the difference, Derek. Use your ear and tune into this. Derek tells me he inherits money. I go, awesome. Now, Derek, I sell trusts. Last thing I'm going to bring up is trust. Derek, I'm sorry for your loss. Your grandmother died. I know you inherited some money. Before we even talk about what I do, are you good with a financial planner? Do you need a CPA? Do you need a life insurance agent? Financial planner, CPA, life insurance. Are you thinking about buying a home? I can introduce you to a mortgage lender, real estate agent. I'm highly networked. I have coffee meetings all the time. Is there any services that I could introduce you to help you with your life? Now, Derek, as a trust guy, if I introduce you to a real estate agent, a mortgage lender, a financial planner, a CPA, am I personally as a trust guy making a dime from that? Am I? And if you don't say yes to the next 2 questions, I'm never talking to you again. Am I serving the client at a higher level?
Yes.
Is it? Now it's going to be 3 yeses. Is it 4 yeses? Is it possible that person is going to tell other people about you? I got a guy, he knows everybody.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Is it possible that if I introduce you to a financial planner because you inherited money and I'm the trust guy, and you hire the financial planner, Is it possible that financial planner? Now, number one, did I make any money from the financial planner? No. Is it possible that I just build a very close and much stronger relationship as the trust guy with the financial planner?
Yeah.
Is it possible the next time somebody sits with him and says, oh, I'm paying too much in taxes, I don't have a trust, my legacy, is it possible that financial planner is going to go, take this card right here. I'll pull out Marcella's card because she's prettier. Derek, call my friend and help you get a trust. Because you, Derek, had that financial planner meet with your client, you didn't make a dime. But now the client's happy, might send you referrals. The financial planner's happy, he might start sending you multiple clients. You never got paid by the financial planner servicing the client. But if the client starts telling people about you, did you get paid? Yes. If the financial planner starts sending you 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people a month, a week, a year. So one of the ways to look at this, Derek, is let's say you just had coffee meetings with financial planners. But what if you had 5 a week for a year? That's 250. Now, of those, some are going to stand you up, some you're not going to resonate with. But if you met with 250, and I promise you, I'm seeing how crowded it is behind you. I'll tell you right now, I could pull up 2 different apps and I'll find you hundreds of financial planners within 30 miles of you, I bet. And with Zoom, they're all over the country, thousands. If you met with 200 financial planners face-to-face or on Zoom and only 15 ever sent you business. Now, Derek, what if those 15, sent you 1 a month? That's 15 a month.
Right.
What if they only sent you 1 a year? That's 15 a year because you had some freaking coffee meetings.
Right.
Now, Derek, just for simple math, and we're exactly at an hour right now as I'm landing the plane, and I could go a lot longer. We didn't even scratch what I was going to cover today.
Right.
Derek, my wife has had 4,000 coffee meetings. Okay, I've had way over 7,000. Does it shock you that I was living in my office homeless 13 years ago and I'm a multimillionaire today? Does any of that shock you based on what I told you today? Hold on. Last time I'm going to show you this. We're going to back up here. You have to craft your personal story. I'm just going to lay the whole thing out for you now, Derek, because now you know what this is. Your personal story, and then you need to know all the components of your perfect client. You need to turn that into an elevator pitch. Inside the elevator pitch, we're using some of these laws. That's way too deep for today. Then we need to name all the different industries who have our client. I gave you 4. Real estate agents, financial planners, mortgage lenders, and CPAs all currently have your client. Now, Derek, my wife can name 163 industries. I named 4 for you. You want to get this list up to 30 to 50 minimum. 30 to 50 minimum different industries. Now, after that, number 6, you have to find them. This is my mastery. This is the stuff I do not give away for free on YouTube. But you need to list all the different, then you need to find them. Then you need to get them to meet with you. Then when they meet with you, what are you going to do and say in the coffee meeting to get them to resonate with you, to get them to start sending you referrals, to keep a long-term relationship with these people? And you need to send them referrals. They send you referrals. How are you going to build that out? What's a slideshow going to look like? So that's these 2. You're going to find them. What are you going to say? And then how are you going to teach them to send you referrals and vice versa? And then what are we going to do to keep top of mind? But what you need is, whether it's networking groups, chamber of commerce events, trade shows, even your Facebook ads, they all need to incorporate this. Because nobody gives 2 what's about features. There's a radio station playing into everybody's mind, and that radio station is WIIFM. It stands for What's in It for Me. Nobody cares about, if I go up to you at the trade show, what do? We sell trust. Nobody cares. If you say I help people save 200,000 to 400,000 a year in taxes, now I'm listening, because that's what's in it for me. I don't care that you sell trust, Derek. So I'll close with this last thing. You proved me wrong. There is not a human being alive ever in the history of the world who's ever bought a drill. They bought a hole. Tell me I'm wrong. You're going to agree with me?
I'll agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. Just for today, agree with me. When you walk in a hardware store and you buy a drill, is it to drill a hole or to grind something? Yeah, you didn't buy a drill. You bought what the drill can do.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna paint a picture for you. This drill has these features, and my stepdad bought a drill bit this long. Now I can tell you it had a carbide tip. It was made of stainless steel, blah, blah, blah. My stepdad could care less. Do you know why he bought the drill bit? To drill a hole through the wall to run a cable to put his hot tub in. This drill bit installed a hot tub. The feature is this is steel. It's got a carbide tip. The benefit is when you drill that hole, you can run the power cable so you can hang out outside in your hot tub. What sells more? Here's what the drill bit can do. Or this drill bit's going to drill that hole so you can be in your hot tub at night drinking margaritas. So when you're at a trade show and you're telling people that I do this and I do that, no one cares.
Caught myself doing that the other day at a dinner party.
Everybody does
Caught
it.
myself saying I sell trust.
Yep. No one cares.
Yep.
But here's the thing. We need the features.
Right.
They got to make this much and it'll do this for them. And then when you're done with that, do they qualify for it and all that? And then what will it do for them? So take all of that and then what will it do for them? Without saying, here's what it'll do for you. Say, here's what it does in general, because you're selling to people. Right. Keep it vague. I help people. And you could say this at a dinner party. Derek, what do you do? I sell trust. Derek, what do you do? I help people who generally make over $200,000. You have about $1 million in net worth, pay $200,000 to $400,000 a year less in taxes, set up a legacy for their grandkids, and create a legacy and generate wealth. Without the avatar, without the elevator pitch, then all you had was features. The elevator pitch helps you create the benefits. Hey, everybody. Hey, Derek, first off, Derek, did you enjoy the training?
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Very educational. Very smart.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being on here. Anybody watching the video, if you're interested in some one-on-one networking training, my email address is rick@onereferralaway.com. Website's www.onereferralaway.com. And YouTube, One Referral Away. How novel. It's because I'm not that smart, so I just have everything one referral away.
Thank you again. God bless you. And tell
you
Marcella hello.
Happy birthday.
Again for your time.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Bye now.
Take care. I'm Rick Silva. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Anyone that was watching, how would they sign up for your course? I mean, is there any course options or stuff like that?
Thank you for asking. So this is onereferralaway.com. Thank you very much for asking, AJ. If people do want to hire me to coach them, this is how we do it.
Got it.
So you go to onereferralaway.com and you see this bouncing here.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that button and this explains the course.
Got it.
This is the curriculum. It's all webinar based. It's a recording of webinars. It's 6 or 7 hours long total. There's my bio and some testimonials. There's my wife and there's all kinds of cool. There's a mortgage lender, financial planner, attorney. I could put 200 of them on here, but there's no need. The options to buy, this button right here, it's $795 to purchase the course or 3 payments of $279. And it comes with all of these recorded webinars. And right here, you can see right there, it comes at 2 hours of one-on-one with me.
Awesome.
Now, if somebody needs more than that, we're going to back up and we're going to click on this button over here. And then 1 hour of one-on-one coaching is $250, 2 hours, $395. Most people, AJ, do the 6 hours for $995. Now, with that, I don't like to do longer than an hour straight because it's overwhelming for both of us. 6 hours, that's 24 15-minute sessions or 12 30-minute sessions or 6 1-hour sessions or a whole crap ton of 10-minute sessions. I'll break it up any way somebody wants. And I'm generally don't stare at my watch. So that 6 hours probably turns into 7 or 8, honestly, when it's done.
Yeah.
So that's the way, but start here with onereferralaway.com and you click that button and that's the course and that's how you join.